and
Oddworld.
Hey oddballs, I'm your host Jensen, and welcome to episode 26. This is the last week of the year. I blinked and here we are. I don't know about you guys, but every time it's a new year, I always just feel like, oh my God, it's going to be a new year. But it happens literally every year. It's still a weird feeling because it's like you're closing out the chapter of this year and you're going to move on to next year. And I don't know, does anybody else feel kind of weird when we leave a year and go to a new one? Anybody? Raise your hand. All right, cool. Well, anyhow, today I'm actually going to tell you who a Capricorn is. And as always, I am pulling this from zodiacsign.com, and here we go. Capricorn is a sign that represents time and responsibility, and its representatives are traditional and often very serious by nature. These individuals possess an inner state of independence that enables significant progress both in their personal and professional lives. They are masters of self-control and have the ability to lead the way, make solid and realistic plans, and manage many people who work for them at any time. They will learn from their mistakes and get to the top based solely on their experience and expertise. Well, if you are a Capricorn, let me know if this is you. And if you know a Capricorn, let me know if this is them. So, anyhow, we're going to move straight to stories because we got some good ones today. I mean, we have good ones every time, but here we go.
This comes from Ltran2645 on Reddit.
This all happened when I was 6 years old, and I still remember it so vividly. Just to preface, I'm open to the idea of the paranormal, but for the most part, I'm still a skeptic. I'm one of those, I wouldn't be surprised if ghosts really exist, but for now, I don't think they do, sort of people. I believe there is an explanation for any paranormal experience we face, whether it's simple or complicated. My parents had immigrated from Vietnam in the 80s and did the whole Ellis Island immigration process. They've lived all over the country, but fast forward to 1993, where they had me in California. In 1999, my family was pretty poor and decided that we wanted to try and get a place with my cousin's family, my dad's brother's family. They went searching for a house in Sacramento, California. They found a place that was oddly cheap, but if I can recall correctly, it was a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom house with a gated automatic fence. This was really fancy back then, on a decently sized lot. Now, here are the details that were told to me later in life when I got older and spoke to my parents about the house. There was obviously a catch to the low price point of this house. The offering price was due to the fact that it was known to be haunted. The real estate agent was very upfront about it and mentioned the history of the house. The original owner of this home died in the nursery of the house. The nursery was located underneath the stairs. Think Harry Potter cupboard, but much bigger, and it is actually a room. We are unsure of what the owner died from, but my parents didn't think that it was necessary to know or even remember. My dad and his brother were skeptics at the time and was only interested in the price point.
The real estate agent mentioned that there have been many families that lived here that experienced paranormal activity and moved out fairly quickly. This did not stop them from taking the offer. There were many things that were experienced in this house. Some very typical, such as creaky pipes and floors, extreme sudden cold temps, footsteps, etc. However, I'd just like to share what I deemed to be the creepiest moments. Although it was a 5-bedroom house, we had to share rooms due to the 2 families living in the house. I shared a room with 2 of my cousins, both around my age. One of the nights I remembered, this was a couple of weeks living here and we had already experienced creepy things, but I was really in need of a drink of water. We had a pact that if we ever went somewhere in the middle of the night, we would wake each other up and go together. So, I woke up my cousins and told them to come with me to get a drink of water really quick. We had an uncle that stayed with us at the time. He's that uncle that goes from family to squat for as long as he can, and he just still does to this day. Well, he didn't mind taking the nursery. Obviously, when we were kids, our parents didn't inform us of any paranormal talk they had. All of our experiences were discovered on our own. So, as we walked down the stairs, we could hear our uncle groaning in his sleep, almost as though he was in pain. We sat on the stairs and continued to listen, and we were trying to make out what he was trying to say. We noticed that the name Sam kept coming up. We got our water, and we went back to bed. The next day, we brought up what we heard our uncle say to our parents, and told them he kept saying the name Sam. My parents looked at us in terror. They then tried to play it off and said it was nothing of concern. We were kids, but we definitely knew they were hiding something from us, but we moved on from it. When we were older and talked about this incident, our parents finally told us the truth about the incident. Apparently, Sam is the name of the original owner that passed away in that nursery. They had not at all informed my uncle about the name of the owner. They confronted my uncle and he had no idea what they were even talking about. This sent chills up my spine, even so many years after this experience. Here is the last experience that was pretty much the, okay, we're moving motive. After maybe 4 or 5 months, we had a Lunar New Year's party. Typically, these drinking parties will go on all night, and it usually ends up in a mellow, talk to each other in the living room gathering to end the night sort of thing. It was probably 1 a.m. at this point, and the people that were left were all in the living room at the base of the stairs. Everyone was pretty much accounted for. As the night was dying down, everyone was chatting, and suddenly we hear doors, and maybe windows, start to slam shut upstairs one by one. This lasted maybe 10 seconds. It almost didn't sound real because it seemed like there were more doors and windows shutting than we even had. There was silence as we all stopped and stared at the top of the stairs, terrified. My dad and brother started to walk up the stairs, and some of us crept behind them. And they called out to see if anyone was up there, and there was no response. Here's the scary part. Every single door was open. There wasn't a single door that was actually slammed shut at all. Yet, we all heard the door shut one after the other. I remember so vividly crying my eyes out when my uncle came back and said, "All the doors are open." We moved out within the week. My parents never shared with me the address of the place. They never wanted me to look it up any further, I don't blame them. However, I'd be really interested in looking at more of the history of the house. I've tried Googling things such as Sam's Sacramento haunted house, but found nothing. I remember what the house looks like, but as extensively as I tried to search it up, I can't find it. I'd be interested if anyone is able to find the house I'm looking for. Here's the description. It's a 2-story white house, very symmetrical and boxy. There's a big 2-car garage, black gates that surrounded the house that opened up that led to the driveway in the garage. Grass lawn with a decent sized tree, and the backyard was pretty much just cement and dead grass. It was located in the middle of a suburb street, not a corner house, not in a circle or court, just a regular drive street between 2 other houses. If you find it, let me know. Well, that's pretty fun. The Harry Potter room is haunted. I mean, come on. Can you get any more creepy than that? Your uncle knows absolutely nothing, and yet he's saying Sam in his sleep of the person who literally died in that room that he's sleeping in. Give me a freaking break. Absolutely not. But anyhow, we're going to move on to the next story.
This comes from StalkedByEntitys on Reddit.
I just had an encounter with a boy standing in the corner, and his eyes were glowing white. He had a black long sleeve shirt on with white writing. All my surroundings were kind of blue. What do glowing eyes mean when encountering a spirit? I had chills and was scared. His presence felt intimidating, scary, and somehow weird to the point that I was not able to say anything. I tried very hard to tell him to get out, but only whispers came out. It sounds like this one could be like a more modern day spirit, but the glowing eyes is what throws me off. And I only say modern day because if this person saw a long sleeve shirt on with writing on it, I mean, that's obviously like not the Victorian era with the dresses and the hats and I don't even know, but you know what I'm saying, hopefully. And it's just the glowing eyes. So if you guys know what the glowing eyes are, reach out to me and let me know, because that's kind of creepy. Faux show. Who am I? Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And well, it's an odd world after all.
Oddballs. Go follow us on It's an Odd World After All podcast on Instagram and Facebook. Also, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. If you have a story you would like to share, email us at it'sanoddworldafterall@gmail.com or message us on one of our social platforms. Don't forget to share us with your family and friends. And check out our website, it'sanoddworldafterall.com.